What if money never existed? No cash, no bank alerts, no salary, no naira. Would you still have value, or would you become invisible in the world? Thousands of years ago, there was a time when money did not exist. Not in coins, not in paper, not even in trade. And yet, value still existed. Wealth still existed. Power still existed. But it did not live in banks. It lived inside the human body. Your strength determined your survival. Your skill determined your importance. Your ability to hunt, protect, and gather determined whether you lived or died. In that world, money was not something you had. It was something you were. And understanding that world may completely change how you see money today. Today in Nigeria, ask someone, what is money? They will point to their phone, their bank app, their last alert, their salary. But let's pause and think deeper. If your salary disappears today, do you still have value? If your bank balance goes to zero, do you become worthless? Most people have tied their identity to money. Students believe money comes from parents. Workers believe money comes from employers. Entrepreneurs believe money comes from profit. But history tells a different story. There was a time when money did not exist. Yet people still survived, still thrived, still created value, which means something important. Money is not the source of value. Value comes first, money comes later. And if you don't understand that, you may spend your entire life chasing money. Instead of building value, let's break this down simply. Imagine two people living 20,000 years ago. Person A is strong, skilled, and fast. He can hunt animals successfully. He brings back food every day. Person B is weak and unskilled. He struggles to hunt. He depends on others for survival. Now here's the reality. Person A has a 100% chance of survival daily. Person B has maybe 20% chance of survival daily. In that world, value was not measured in money. It was measured in probability of survival. Your skill increased your survival rate. Your energy increased your output. Your value equals your ability to stay alive and help others stay alive. That was the first economic system. Let's test your thinking. Which of these was the most valuable currency in early human society? A gold. B. Physical strength. C. Paper money. Think carefully. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is B. Physical strength. But not just strength, skill, awareness, speed, adaptability. Because in that world, survival depended on what you could do, not what you own. Now here's the deeper question. If money disappeared today, what skills do you have that would still make you valuable? That question alone can change. Before money. Before 10,000 BCE, humans lived as hunter-gatherers. They did not farm. They did not trade in structured markets. They did not use currency. They lived in small groups, constantly moving in search of food. Their survival depended on nature, animals, seasons, weather, and their own physical ability. There were no savings, no investments, no wealth storage. Every day was a new challenge, energy as currency. In that world, energy was everything. If you had energy, you could hunt. If you could hunt, you could eat. If you could eat, you could live. Energy was hard work, skill was smart work. A skilled hunter used less energy but achieved better results. An unskilled hunter used more energy with little success. This is where the first economic principle appeared. Efficiency creates advantage. Even without money, some people had more value than others. Not because of wealth, but because of capability. Skill as value. Not everyone hunted. Some gathered fruits. Some tracked animals. Some protected the group. Each role created value. And value determined importance. If you were useful to the group, you survived. If you were not, survival became difficult. This was the earliest form of economic contribution. Value was not stored, it was used immediately. The limitation of this system. But this system had a major problem. Everything was temporary. If you hunted today, the food would spoil in days. You could not store value long term. You could not save for the future. You could not build wealth across generations. There was no inheritance, no accumulation, no growth beyond survival. Every day, life restarted from zero. And that limitation prevented humanity from scaling. No large cities, no empires, no advanced systems. Because without storage, wealth cannot grow. The turning point. Then something changed. Humans discovered something powerful. They realized that food did not always have to be hunted. It could be grown. Land could produce food again and again. This discovery would change everything. It would introduce surplus, it would create wealth storage, it would create power, and it would give birth to the next stage of money evolution. Story framework. The day value disappeared. Imagine a hunter returning to his group at sunset. He carries a large animal on his shoulders. The group celebrates. There is food for everyone. That night, they eat. They laugh, they survive, but 3 days later, the meat begins to rot. The value disappears. The hunter must go out again, the same effort, the same risk, the same uncertainty. Now imagine another world. A farmer plants seeds. Months later, food grows. He stores it. He uses it later. The value remains. The difference between these two worlds is everything. One creates survival. The other creates wealth. And this is why the discovery of agriculture changed human civilization forever. This early system existed across the entire world. From Africa to Europe to Asia, every human society began this way. Over time, different regions evolved differently. Agriculture began in multiple places. Civilizations grew, trade expanded, money systems developed, eventually leading to industrial revolution, modern banking, digital economies. Nigeria today is part of this long global evolution. But it all started from one simple truth. Human energy was the first form of money. So what is money? Before it was paper, before it was digital. Money was human effort. Money is stored human time. Money is transferable value. Money is proof that you solved a problem. In the hunter era, the problem was survival. Those who could solve it had value. Today, the problems are different. But the principle is the same. Money flows toward value. And value flows from solving problems. The bigger the problem you solve, the more value you create. The more money flows to you. Money is not random. It follows usefulness. It follows impact. It follows scale. Why does this matter today? Because many people still live like hunters. In a modern economy, they trade time for survival. They work daily just to earn. If they stop working, income stops. That is the hunter system in a modern world. But wealth is created differently. In the past, land created wealth. Today, systems create wealth. Digital skills, businesses, platforms, networks. If your income depends only on your effort, it cannot scale. But if your value can reach many people, your income can grow beyond your time. This is how people become the first millionaires in their families. This episode teaches 5 powerful lessons. First, value comes before money. Money is only a reflection of value, not the source of it. If you focus only on earning money without building value, your growth will always be limited. Second, skills determine survival. In the hunter era, skills meant life or death. Today, skills still determine opportunities, income, and influence. Third, effort alone is not enough. Hard work without strategy leads to survival, not wealth. Skill and efficiency create leverage. Fourth, systems create wealth, not daily labor. The hunter worked daily. The farmer created a system. The difference is everything. Fifth, understanding history changes your future. When you understand how money evolved, you stop making blind financial decisions. To apply this, start building valuable skills. Think beyond salary. Look for scalable opportunities. Learn how systems create income. Focus on long-term value creation. These steps move you from survival thinking to wealth thinking. Thousands of years, humans survived using energy, strength, skill, effort, but survival is not wealth. And most people today are still trapped in survival. Working, earning, spending, repeating. But there is another path, a path built on understanding how money truly works. And that journey begins with knowledge. In my book, The First Millionaire in Your Family, we break down these principles into a clear, practical blueprint. Many readers have already begun changing how they think about income, value, and wealth. Because once you understand the system, you stop chasing money and start attracting it. If you want to go deeper, the link to the book is in the description. And if this episode changed how you see money, like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel, Because this is not just content. This is your financial awakening. And in the next episode, we explore the moment everything changed, the moment humans stopped chasing food and started producing it, the birth of land as wealth, the foundation of empires, the beginning of power. Because the biggest shift in money history was not the invention of currency. It was the moment land became more powerful than human energy. And that is a story you cannot afford. Tens of thousands of years, humanity lived this way. Wake up, search for food, survive the day, repeat tomorrow. Energy was everything. Strength meant survival, skill meant value. But no matter how strong a hunter was, one brutal truth remained. Every single day, life reset to zero. The animal hunted today could feed a family tonight. But within days, the value disappeared. The meat rotted, the effort vanished, and tomorrow, the hunter had to start again. No savings, no inheritance, no generational wealth, just survival. Human civilization was trapped inside a cycle that could never scale. No cities, no empires, no kingdoms, just movement and survival. But somewhere in human history, someone noticed something small. Something most people ignored. A seed. A simple seed falling into the soil. Days later, something extraordinary happened. The seed grew, then more seeds grew. Food began appearing from the land itself. For the first time in human history, humans realized something that would permanently change civilization. Food did not always have to be hunted. It could be grown. And if food could be grown, it could be produced again, and again, and again. This discovery would break humanity out of the survival cycle forever. Because when land produces food repeatedly, something new appears in the world, surplus. And surplus creates something humanity had never truly experienced before. Stored wealth, power, civilization. In the next episode, we explore the moment that changed the structure of human society forever. The moment land became wealth, the moment farmers began shaping power, the moment kings, kingdoms, and social classes began to emerge, and the moment humanity unknowingly built the first real wealth system in history, the agrarian revolution. Trust me, if you think money begins with paper or banks, the next episode will completely change the way you see wealth. Because before currency, before trade, before the naira, there was something far more powerful, land, and that story begins in the next episode. This channel is not about motivation. It is about transformation. Every video you watch here is one step closer to becoming the first millionaire in your family. Not through luck, not through hype, but through discipline, structure, and long-term thinking. We are building thinkers. We are building investors. We are building legacy creators. And if you stay here long enough, apply what you learn, and study the blueprint inside the first millionaire in your family, you won't just change your income, you will change your bloodline. So if this video shifted your thinking even a little, subscribe, because this is not just content. This is preparation. And 10 years from now, you'll either look back and say, I started when it was small, or I wish I did. Choose wisely. I'll see you in the next lesson.